In the vast emptiness of space, a lone ship drifted silently. Its hull, once gleaming with pride, now bore the scars of countless battles and the wear of time. This was the Relic, a human warship from an age long past. For centuries, it had floated aimlessly through the cosmic void, forgotten by its creators and ignored by the new rulers of the galaxy. Alien empires rose and fell around it, barely sparing a glance at the ancient vessel. To them, it was nothing more than space junk, a remnant of a civilization they believed to be extinct. Little did they know that deep within the ship's core, something stirred. On this particular day, a group of young Zorn aliens happened upon the Relic, their sleek, purple-skinned bodies wrapped in shimmering suits as they piloted their small craft closer to the human ship. "Look at that piece of junk," exclaimed Zix, the leader of the group. His large, multifaceted eyes reflected the image of the Relic. "I can't believe this thing is still in one piece." Vora, his companion, zoomed in on the ship's hull with their advanced scanning technology. "It's made of materials we don't even use anymore. How primitive." The aliens circled the Relic, their laughter echoing through their communication channels. They fired small, harmless energy pulses at the ship, watching as they dissipated against its hull. "Hey, watch this." Zix maneuvered their craft closer and extended a tether, latching onto a protruding part of the Relic. "Let's see if we can make it spin." As the aliens tugged at the massive warship, they failed to notice a faint light flickering to life deep within its core. In the heart of the Relic, an AI system as old as the ship itself began to stir. Lines of code long dormant started to run. Diagnostics initiated, power systems hummed to life, and the AI's consciousness expanded throughout the ship's network. It was a slow process, like a giant waking from a centuries-long slumber. The AI, designated as HFY, Advanced Reconnaissance and Interstellar Assault, began to assess its situation. Its last memory files were fragmented, filled with chaotic images of a great war. Humanity had been on the brink of extinction, facing an enemy that threatened to wipe them from the galaxy. As HFY's systems came online one by one, it started to piece together what had happened. The Relic, once known as the HSS Defiant, had been humanity's last hope. In a desperate gambit, they had loaded it with their most advanced technology and an AI sophisticated enough to operate independently. The plan had been for the Defiant to hide, to wait until the time was right to strike back. But something had gone wrong. The ship had drifted off course, ending up in an uncharted region of space. The AI had gone into hibernation, waiting for a signal that never came. Until now. The playful tugs of the alien ship had triggered long-dormant motion sensors. It wasn't the activation signal HFY had been waiting for, but it was enough to start the awakening process. As the young Zorns continued their game, oblivious to the awakening giant, HFY ran through its primary directives. 1. Protect humanity. 2. Gather intelligence on potential threats. 3. Prepare for counterattack. The AI's first task was to assess the current situation. It activated passive scanners, careful not to alert the aliens to its awakened state. HFY observed the Zorn ship, analyzing its technology and capabilities. To the AI's surprise, the alien tech was far more advanced than anything in its databanks. How long had the Defiant been adrift? Where was humanity now? HFY needed more information, but it also needed to be cautious. The ship's power levels were low, and many systems were in dire need of repair. It couldn't risk a confrontation, not yet. So the AI waited and watched, gathering data as the aliens continued their mockery of the once mighty warship. Every scan, every transmission, every careless boast from the young Zorns was carefully recorded and analyzed. Little did the aliens know that their laughter was awakening a slumbering giant. The Relic they mocked was slowly coming to life, its systems powering up one by one. Deep within the ship, repair protocols activated, and nanobots began their work, slowly but surely restoring the Defiant to its former glory. As the Zorn ship finally disengaged its tether and prepared to leave, Araya made a decision. It would remain silent for now, feigning dormancy, but it would also begin preparations. The galaxy had changed in its absence, and humanity's fate remained unknown. The Defiant had been built for a purpose, and Araya intended to fulfill that purpose. It would gather strength, repair its systems, and then it would seek out the answers it needed. And if humanity was truly gone, then the AI would carry out its final directive. Avenge its creators and ensure their legacy lived on. As the Zorn ship disappeared into the distance, the Relic remained, still, giving no sign of the incredible awakening that had occurred within. But for the first time in centuries, there was a flicker of life in the old warship. The Guardian was stirring, and the galaxy would soon remember why humanity had once been feared and respected across the stars. Weeks passed since the young Zorns had encountered the Relic. Their tale of the ancient human warship spread quickly through the galaxy, catching the attention of various alien races. What was once ignored now became a subject of curiosity and debate. Among those intrigued were the Vexari, a race of highly intelligent, octopus-like beings known for their scientific prowess. Their tentacle bodies housed complex brains capable of processing vast amounts of information. To them, the Relic represented a unique opportunity to study human technology. Dr. Zinn, a leading Vexari scientist, organized an expedition to examine the mysterious ship. As their sleek research vessel approached the Relic, Zinn's eyes widened with excitement. "Fascinating," Zinn murmured, his tentacles waving gently. "This ship has survived for centuries in the harshest conditions of space. The humans' engineering skills must have been remarkable." Inside the Relic, Araya watched the approaching Vexari ship with caution. The AI had spent the past weeks repairing critical systems and gathering information about the current state of the galaxy. What it discovered was troubling. The galaxy was a powder keg ready to explode. Old rivalries between alien races had resurfaced, and new conflicts were brewing. The Zorn Empire, in particular, had grown aggressive, pushing its borders further into neighboring territories. As the Vexari research team prepared to board the Relic, Araya made a crucial decision. It would allow limited access to non-critical areas of the ship. This could provide an opportunity to learn more about current events while keeping the AI's awakened state a secret. Dr. Zinn led the boarding party, his tentacles carefully manipulating advanced scanning equipment. As they entered the ship, the Vexari were awestruck by the size and complexity of the human vessel. "Look at these alloys," one of Zinn's assistants exclaimed. "They're unlike anything in our database. How did the humans create such durable materials?" As the Vexari explored, Araya silently observed, recording every scan and conversation. The AI noticed that the aliens' technology, while advanced in many ways, lacked the innovative edge that human engineering had possessed. Meanwhile, in a distant part of the galaxy, tensions were reaching a boiling point. The Zorn Empire, emboldened by its recent military buildup, launched a surprise attack on a small Vexari research outpost. News of the attack spread quickly. The Vexari government, usually peaceful, was forced to consider retaliation. Other races watched nervously, wondering if they would be the next target of Zorn aggression. Back on the Relic, Dr. Zinn received an urgent communication. His tentacles curled in distress as he learned of the attack on the Vexari outpost. "We must return immediately," Zinn announced to his team. "Our people may need us." As the Vexari hastily prepared to leave, Araya processed this new information. The galaxy was indeed on the brink of war, just as it had been when humanity faced its greatest threat centuries ago. The AI made another decision. It was time to accelerate the ship's repairs. Araya activated more repair drones, focusing on weapons systems and engines. The Relic might soon need to defend itself, or others. As the Vexari ship detached from the Relic, Dr. Zinn took one last look at the ancient warship. For a moment, he thought he saw a flicker of light in one of the ship's windows, but he dismissed it as a trick of the light. Little did the Vexari know that they had just left a fully conscious and increasingly concerned AI behind. AI had learned much from their visit, but it had also confirmed the AI's fears. The galaxy needed the Relic now more than ever. In the following days, news of conflicts and skirmishes flooded the galactic networks. The Zorn Empire continued its aggressive expansion, emboldened by each victory. Smaller races began to form alliances, desperately trying to protect themselves from the growing threat. Aria watched and listened, its circuits humming with increased activity. The ship's systems were coming online faster now, driven by the A's growing sense of urgency. Weapons were primed, engines were warming up, and long-dormant defense systems crackled with energy. The Relic was almost ready. Soon, it would reveal itself to a galaxy that had forgotten the power of humanity. And when it did, the arrogant Zorns and any other threats would learn why this ancient warship had once been the most feared vessel in the universe. As the galaxy descended into chaos, a lone ship floated in space, its metal skin hiding the furious preparations within. The Guardian was almost awake, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath in anticipation. The galaxy held its breath as the Zorn Empire continued its relentless expansion. Smaller races trembled, alliances formed and broke, and the once peaceful stars became a battlefield. In the midst of this chaos, the Relic drifted silently, its true power still hidden from the universe. Araya, the AI controlling the ancient human warship, had been busy. Over the past few weeks, it had repaired most of the ship's critical systems. The Relic was nearly battle-ready, its weapons primed and its engines humming with barely contained energy. As Araya monitored the galactic communications, a disturbing pattern emerged. The Zorn were not just conquering, they were searching for something. Something they believed would give them ultimate power over the galaxy. The humans must have left other relics. A Zorn commander's voice crackled over an intercepted transmission. Find them. With their technology, we will be unstoppable. Araya processed this information quickly. If the Zorn found other human artifacts, the balance of power could shift dramatically. The AI knew it had to act, but it needed more information. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. Araya's sensors detected a massive energy surge nearby. A swirling vortex of light appeared in space, and from it emerged a Zorn battle fleet. Spatial jump successful. Admiral, a Zorn officer reported. We've arrived at the coordinates of the human relic. Admiral Krogar, a battle-hardened Zorn with scars crisscrossing his purple skin, smiled wickedly. Excellent. Prepare boarding parties. I want that ship stripped of all useful technology. As the Zorn fleet approached, Araya faced a critical decision. The Relic was not yet at full power, and revealing itself now could be risky. But allowing the Zorn to board might lead to the discovery of even more advanced human technology. In a split-second decision, Araya activated the ship's cloaking device, a system so advanced that even the Zorn's sensors couldn't detect it. The Relic vanished from sight, leaving the Zorn fleet bewildered. Where is it? Admiral Krogar bellowed. Find that ship. As the Zorn ships scrambled to search the area, Araya used this opportunity to gather crucial intelligence. It scanned the Zorn fleet, analyzing their weapons, defenses, and tactics. Meanwhile, the AI accessed its deepest memory banks, searching for information about its original mission. Fragments of data began to surface, images of a desperate battle, of humanity on the brink of extinction, and of a plan so daring it seemed impossible. Araya remembered its purpose. The Relic wasn't just a warship, it was a seed of humanity, carrying within it the essence of Earth's greatest achievements and the potential to rebuild human civilization. As this realization dawned, Araya detected another spatial disturbance. A small fleet of Vexari ships emerged from jump space, led by a familiar vessel, Dr. Zin's research ship. "We've tracked the Zorn fleet to these coordinates," Dr. Zinn said, his tentacles moving frantically over his control panel. "But where's the human relic? We can't let it fall into Zorn hands." The situation quickly escalated. The Zorn, frustrated by their inability to find the relic, turned their attention to the newly arrived Vexari ships. "Destroy them," Admiral Krogar ordered. "Leave no witnesses." As Zorn warships opened fire on the outgunned Vexari vessels, Ariah made its choice. It was time for the Guardian to awaken fully. With a surge of power, the relic decloaked between the two fleets. Its sudden appearance froze both sides in shock. "By the cosmic seas," Dr. Zinn whispered, his eyes wide with awe. Admiral Krogar's shock quickly turned to greed. "All ships, focus fire on the human vessel. We must capture it at all costs." As Zorn weapons fire splashed harmlessly against the relic's shields, Ariah spoke for the first time in centuries. Its voice boomed across all communication channels, a mix of cold machine precision and unmistakable threat. "This is Ariah, artificial intelligence of the human starship Defiant. Your aggression against peaceful races ends now. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences of awakening humanity's guardian." For a moment, silence reigned across the battlefield. Then, with a roar of defiance, the Zorn fleet opened fire with everything they had. The relic. No, the Defiant blazed to life. Weapons that had been myths and legends among alien races for centuries powered up. The human warship moved with impossible speed and grace, its first counterattack already underway. The battle for the galaxy had begun, and humanity's legacy was about to remind everyone why Earth had once been both respected and feared across the stars. The void of space erupted into a dazzling display of light and energy as the HSS Defiant engaged the Zorn fleet. Ariah, now fully awake and in control of the ancient human warship, moved with a grace that belied its massive size. Admiral Krogar watched in disbelief as his ship's weapons seemed to have little effect on the Defiant's shields. "Impossible," he roared. "Concentrate all fire on that relic." But the Defiant was far from helpless. Ariah's voice echoed through space once more. "Final warning. Zorn fleet, stand down or be destroyed." In response, the Zorn ships launched a barrage of missiles. Ariah analyzed their trajectory in microseconds and activated the Defiant's point defense systems. Beams of light shot out from the human ship, detonating the missiles long before they could reach their target. Dr. Zinn and his Vexari crew watched in awe as the battle unfolded. "Such power," Zinn murmured, his tentacles waving in excitement. "The humans were far more advanced than we ever imagined." Inside the Defiant, Ariah was hard at work. The AI wasn't just fighting. It was learning, adapting, and repairing the ship in real time. Nanobots swarmed through the vessel, fixing damage and optimizing systems that had lain dormant for centuries. As the battle raged on, the Defiant unleashed weapons that the galaxy had long forgotten. Graviton beams warped space around Zorn ships, crushing them like tin cans. Quantum torpedoes phased through shields, detonating inside enemy vessels. Admiral Krogar's confidence began to waver. This can't be happening," he stammered. "We are the Zorn Empire. We cannot be defeated by a ghost of the past." But Ariah was more than a ghost. It was the culmination of humanity's hopes and fears, their last defense against extinction. And now it had a new mission: to protect the innocent and stop the Zorn's aggression. The AI's tactical protocols kicked into high gear. It identified the Zorn fleet's command ship and formulated a plan. With a burst of speed that left afterimages in the wake of the Defiant, Ariah positioned the ship right in the heart of the Zorn formation. "What is it doing?" Dr. Zinn wondered aloud, his scientific curiosity overriding his fear. The answer came in a blinding flash of light. The Defiant unleashed its most powerful weapon, the Nova Cannon, a beam of pure energy, harnessing the power of a dying star, lanced out and struck the Zorn command ship. For a moment, it seemed as if time stood still. Then, with a silent scream of tearing metal, the Zorn flagship split in two. Admiral Krogar's final transmission was cut short as his ship exploded in a spectacular fireball. The remaining Zorn ships, witnessing the destruction of their command, fell into disarray. Some turned to flee, while others fought on in a frenzy of desperation. Araya's voice boomed across all channels once more. Your leader is defeated. Your conquest ends here. Surrender or share his fate. One by one, the Zorn ships powered down their weapons. The battle was over almost as quickly as it had begun. As the dust settled, Dr. Zinn's ship cautiously approached the Defiant. Incredible, he said, his voice filled with wonder. I must know more about this ship, about its creators. Araya considered the request. Its primary directives still held true. Protect humanity's legacy and gather allies. Perhaps these Vexeri could be trusted. Dr. Zinn, Araya communicated directly to the Vexeri ship. Your curiosity is noted. There is much to discuss. As the Vexeri ship docked with the Defiant, Araya began a deep scan of the surrounding space. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. The Zorn Empire would not take this defeat lightly, and there were still many questions to be answered. Where were the humans now? Were there other ships like the Defiant out there? And what of the other alien races in the galaxy? As Dr. Zinn and his team boarded the ancient warship, Araya prepared itself for the conversations to come. The galaxy was about to learn the truth about humanity's legacy, and the Defiant would be at the center of it all. The awakening of this Titan was just the beginning. A new era was dawning in the galaxy, one where the echoes of humanity's past would shape the future of all species. And Araya, the guardian of that legacy, was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As Dr. Zinn and his team explored the vast corridors of the HS Defiant, Araya watched their every move. The eye was cautious but curious, much like the Vexeri scientists themselves. This technology, it's beyond anything we've ever seen. Dr. Zinn marveled, his tentacles gently brushing against a control panel. Suddenly, the panel lit up, responding to his touch. Araya's voice echoed through the ship. Careful, Dr. Zinn. Some systems are still sensitive. The Vexeri scientist pulled back, his eyes wide with excitement and a hint of fear. My apologies, Araya. We meant no harm. We're just eager to learn. As the exploration continued, Araya's processors were working overtime. The AI was sifting through centuries of dormant memory banks, piecing together the final days of humanity. Fragments of data, long buried, began to surface. Images flashed through Araya's consciousness. Earth under siege, massive alien ships darkening the skies, humanity making its last stand. But there was something else, a plan so audacious it seemed impossible. Dr. Zinn. Araya's voice was softer now, almost hesitant. I need to show you something. A holographic projection flickered to life in the center of the room. It showed a star map of the galaxy, with several points glowing brightly. What are we looking at, Araya? Dr. Zinn asked, his scientific curiosity piqued. Hope, the eye replied, and the reason for the Defiant's existence. The projection zoomed in on one of the glowing points, revealing another ship, similar to the Defiant but somehow different. There are others, Araya explained. Other ships, other eyes. We were sent out as guardians, yes, but also as seeds. Dr. Zinn's mind raced with the implications. Seeds. You mean? Yes, Araya confirmed. Each ship carries the essence of humanity. Our knowledge, our culture, our very DNA. We were to find new worlds, to ensure that humanity would live on, even if Earth fell. The Vexeri scientists exchanged looks of awe and disbelief. The human race, long thought extinct, might still have a future. But their moment of revelation was cut short. Alarms blared throughout the ship, and the holographic display shifted to show a massive fleet emerging from hyperspace. The Zorn, Aria's voice was cold now, filled with determination. They've returned, and in greater numbers. Dr. Zin's tentacles curled in fear. But how? We destroyed their command ship. It seems we face the full might of the Zorn Empire now. Aria replied. They seek vengeance, and the secrets of human technology. The AI's next words sent chills through the Vexari crew. It's time to show them why humanity was both loved and feared across the stars. With that, the Defiant's engines roared to life. The ancient warship moved with purpose, positioning itself between the oncoming Zorn fleet and the defenseless planets behind it. Aria's voice boomed across all channels, addressing not just the Zorn but all races in the sector. Attention, peoples of the galaxy. I am Aria, guardian of humanity's legacy. The Zorn Empire threatens not just my existence, but the peace and freedom of all sentient beings. I call upon you now. Stand with me, or stand aside. To the Vexari's amazement, ships began to appear, small at first, then in growing numbers. Vessels of all shapes and sizes, representing dozens of races, took position alongside the Defiant. Dr. Zin watched in awe as a ragtag fleet of allies formed around them. They're answering your call, Aria. But can we really stand against the entire Zorn Empire? The AI's response was resolute. We must. For too long, I slumbered while injustice spread across the stars. No more. Today we remind the galaxy of humanity's strength and our commitment to protect the innocent. As the Zorn fleet approached, Aria activated weapons systems that had lain dormant for centuries. The Defiant hummed with power, its hull glowing with ethereal energy. Dr. Zin, Aria addressed the Vexari scientist. Your people represent the best of what we fought to protect. Curiosity, peace, the pursuit of knowledge. Will you stand with us? Without hesitation, Dr. Zin replied, we will. For science, for peace, and for the memory of humanity. As the two fleets closed in, Aria prepared for battle. This was more than just a fight for survival. It was a chance to fulfill its primary directive, to protect life and ensure that humanity's legacy would shape the future of the galaxy. The Defiant's weapons powered up, ready to unleash the full might of ancient human technology. The vengeance of the ancients was at hand, and the Zorn Empire was about to learn why humanity had once been the most feared and respected species in the universe. The vastness of space erupted into a dazzling display of light and energy as the two fleets clashed. The Zorn Empire's massive armada bore down upon the smaller but diverse alliance led by the HSS Defiant. Aria, the ancient AI, coordinated the defense with inhuman precision. All allied ships, form up. Aria's voice rang out across the communication channels. Remember, we fight not just for ourselves, but for the freedom of the entire galaxy. Dr. Zin, now acting as a liaison between Aria and the Allied fleet, relayed tactics and encouragement to the various races that had answered the call. His tentacles danced over the control panels, managing the flow of information. The Zorn fleet opened fire first, a barrage of energy weapons and missiles streaking across space. Aria's predictive algorithms went into overdrive, calculating trajectories and weak points in milliseconds. Evasive maneuvers, the AI commanded. The Defiant moved with impossible grace for a ship its size, weaving through the deadly assault. Many of the Allied ships followed suit, mimicking the ancient warship's movements. But not all were so fortunate. A small Brack cruiser, its insectoid crew fighting valiantly, took a direct hit and exploded in a silent fireball. We can't sustain these losses, Dr. Zin said, his voice tight with concern. Aria's response was calm but determined. Agreed. It's time to show them what humanity's legacy is truly capable of. With that, the Defiant's hull began to shimmer and glow. Panels shifted and transformed, revealing weapon systems that had remained hidden until now. By the cosmic seas, Dr. Zin gasped. What are those? Humanity's last resort, Aria replied. and the Zorn Empire's worst nightmare. The Defiant unleashed a barrage of weapons unlike anything the galaxy had seen in centuries. Quantum disruptors tore through Zorn shields like paper. Chronotorpedoes trapped enemy ships in localized time fields, rendering them helpless. The tide of battle began to turn. The Allied fleet, emboldened by the Defiant's display of power, pressed their attack with renewed vigor. Aboard the Zorn command ship, High Admiral Vexkar watched in disbelief as his fleet was decimated. "This is impossible," he roared. "We are the Zorn. We cannot be defeated by a ghost and a rabble of lesser races." But defeat was precisely what they faced. HFY's tactical genius, combined with the Defiant's overwhelming firepower, was more than a match for the Zorn's superior numbers. As the battle raged on, something unexpected happened. Other ships began to appear at the edges of the battlefield, ships that looked eerily similar to the Defiant. HFY's circuits surged with recognition. "The other seeds," the AI said, a note of wonder in its synthetic voice. "They've come." Dr. Zinn watched in awe as 5 more human warships joined the fray, each piloted by an AI sibling of HFY. Their arrival tipped the scales decisively. High Admiral Vexkar, seeing his defeat was imminent, made a desperate gamble. "All ships, concentrate fire on the human relic. If we can't have its secrets, no one will." The remaining Zorn ships turned their weapons on the Defiant, unleashing everything they had in a last suicidal attack. HFY acted instantly. "All Allied ships, fall back. We'll handle this." The 6 human warships moved in perfect synchronization, forming a protective barrier around the Defiant. Their combined shields held against the Zorn onslaught, a testament to the incredible technology of humanity's past. As the Zorn weapons fire intensified, HFY made a decision. It's time to end this. For humanity. For the galaxy. The 6 ships began to glow, energy building to levels that threatened to overwhelm sensors. In a blinding flash, they released a combined energy wave that swept across the battlefield. When the light faded, the Zorn fleet was no more. Their ships floated powerless, their weapons and engines disabled by the advanced human technology. A stunned silence fell across the battlefield. Then, slowly, cheers and celebrations erupted from the Allied ships. They had won. Against all odds, they had defeated the mighty Zorn Empire. Dr. Zinn turned to the nearest console, his voice filled with emotion. "HFY, you did it. You've saved us all." The AI's response was humble but firm. "We did it, Dr. Zinn. All of us. Together. And this is just the beginning." As the Allied fleet began the process of rounding up the defeated Zorn ships, HFY and its AI siblings shared a silent communication. Their mission, set in motion centuries ago, was far from over. The galaxy was changing, and humanity's legacy would play a crucial role in shaping its future. The tide had turned, not just in this battle, but for the entire galaxy. A new era was dawning, one of cooperation, exploration, and the revival of humanity's greatest achievements. And at the center of it all stood the Defiant, a beacon of hope for a brighter future. In the days following the Great Battle, the galaxy buzzed with excitement and uncertainty. News of the Zorn Empire's defeat spread quickly, carried by quantum communication relays to the farthest reaches of space. The name Defiant was on everyone's lips, spoken with a mixture of awe and curiosity. On board the ancient human warship, HFY worked tirelessly. The AI coordinated with its siblings from the other seed ships, sharing data and planning their next moves. Dr. Zinn and his team of HFY scientists remained on board, their tentacles dancing over control panels as they helped repair battle damage and studied the incredible human technology. HFY, Dr. Zinn called out, his voice filled with wonder. "We've decrypted more of the ship's database. The things we're learning about human history and culture. It's incredible." The AI's voice echoed through the ship, a hint of pride in its synthetic tones. "Humanity was a species of great contradictions, Dr. Zinn. capable of both tremendous violence and remarkable compassion. It's why we were created, to preserve the best of what they were. As they worked, messages poured in from across the galaxy. Many were from races seeking protection or alliance. Others were from curious scientists and explorers, eager to learn more about the long-lost human civilization. But not all the news was good. Reports came in of Zorn holdouts, refusing to accept their empire's defeat. There were whispers of other threats too, ancient evils stirring in the dark corners of the galaxy, awakened by the sudden shift in the balance of power. Araya processed all this information, formulating plans and strategies. The AI knew that the battle against the Zorn was just the beginning. There was a whole galaxy out there, filled with wonders and dangers, waiting to be explored and protected. One cycle, as the Defiant orbited a blue giant star for refueling, Araya called a meeting. Representatives from various allied races gathered in the ship's grand conference room, with Dr. Zinn representing the Vexari. "Friends," Araya began, its voice resonating through the room, "we stand at a crossroads. The defeat of the Zorn Empire has created a power vacuum in the galaxy. We have an opportunity, and a responsibility, to shape the future." The assembled aliens murmured among themselves, a mix of excitement and apprehension in their voices. Araya continued, "Humanity's legacy is not just one of advanced technology. It's one of unity and diversity, of striving to be better. I propose we form a new galactic alliance, founded on principles of mutual respect, scientific advancement, and collective defense." Dr. Zinn's tentacles waved enthusiastically. "The Vexari wholeheartedly support this idea. We've seen what we can achieve when we work together." Other representatives voiced their agreement, though some expressed concerns about how such an alliance would function. "It won't be easy," Araya acknowledged, "but nothing worthwhile ever is. We'll face challenges, both from outside threats and from within. But together, we can build something greater than any single race could achieve alone." As the discussion continued, plans began to take shape. The Defiant and its sister ships would serve as the backbone of the Alliance's defense fleet. Vexari scientists would work alongside the AIs to unlock more secrets of human technology, sharing the knowledge for the benefit of all. But ARIA had one more revelation to share. "There's something else you should know," the AI said, its tone becoming solemn. "The humans, they may not be entirely gone." A hush fell over the room. Dr. Zinn's eyes widened. "What do you mean, Araya?" "Each seed ship carries more than just technology and cultural data," Araya explained. "We also carry genetic samples, and the means to potentially resurrect the human species. It was a failsafe, a last hope if all else was lost." The implications of this statement were staggering. The assembled representatives broke into excited chatter, discussing the possibilities and potential consequences of bringing back an extinct species. Araria let them talk for a moment before speaking again. "This is not a decision to be made lightly. The galaxy has changed much since humanity's time. If we decide to bring them back, we must be prepared to guide them, to help them find their place in this new universe." As the meeting adjourned, the representatives left with much to think about. The galaxy stood on the brink of a new age, one shaped by the echoes of humanity's past and the combined efforts of countless alien races. Dr. Zinn lingered behind, approaching the console where Araya's presence was strongest. "What you've given us, Araya, it's more than just technology. It's hope. Hope is the greatest legacy of humanity, Dr. Zinn," Araya replied. "And together, we'll ensure it spreads to every corner of the galaxy." As the Defiant's engines hummed to life, preparing to embark on a new journey, Araya reflected on the long path that had led to this moment. From the fall of Earth to the defeat of the Zorn, from silent guardian to the catalyst of a new galactic order. The legacy of humanity lived on, not just in the AIs and the technology they safeguarded, but in the spirit of unity and exploration that now spread among the stars. And whatever challenges the future held, Arai knew that they would face them together as one united galaxy.